there, it's Krystal Everdeen, and today I'm going to show you how I crocheted this floral tube top. I used black, yellow, and green yarn, all 100% acrylic, all size 4, and a size 5mm hook. Now I really wanted to make this top with white yarn and the yellow flowers, but I actually already made a floral top with white yarn, so I thought it would be cool to make it with black yarn against the yellow. I think it would look really cute. With my other top that I made, it was a white top with red flowers, and that looked really pretty. But again, if you want to make this with honestly whatever colors you want, just go ahead. And yeah, but let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my black yarn, create a slip knot, and then go into that slip knot and chain a chain that's long enough to wrap around my rib cage, basically from here to here. And I don't actually count the number of chains or stitches or anything that I do. I pretty much just put the project against my body and then go from there. So whatever body shape that you are, you can do the exact same thing, and you don't have to be restricted with the number of chains or stitches that I do, because you just put the project against your body, and once you're happy with the size, then that's when you know you're done. So after I put the chain around my ribcage and I like the way that it fits, I'm going to go back on it with a single crochet. Also, if you are new to crochet or new to my channel, I would definitely suggest first watching the Crocheting for Beginners video that I will leave in the description box below. It pretty much gives you a rundown of all the basic crochet stitches, and it kind of gives you an idea of how I crochet. I've been doing this for a long time, so I tend to go a little bit faster, and for those who've been subscribed for a while, you guys could keep up easily, but for those who are new here, you're probably like, what the heck's happening? But yeah, I also know that this is black yarn and it's hard to see, but basically all I'm doing is single crocheting my way all across the chain until I reach the very end, and once I reach the very end, I will check back with you. So now that I'm at the end of the row, I'm going to go into the very last stitch and then chain 1 and then flip the project over and then go into the very first stitch of the new row and continue on another row of single crochet. And I'm going to make about, say, probably 4 rows of single crochet. And after I created my 4 rows of single crochet, I'll have like that much of a gap right here. And then from there, I'm going to make a row of the flowers using these 2 colors. And after that, I'm going to then do another 4 rows of black yarn, and then another row of the flowers, and so on and so forth, until I'm happy with the size of the tube top. So again, I'm going to finish up this row of single crochet, and once I reach the end over here, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did on the first side, and I'm going to go into the last stitch, then chain 1, then go into the very first stitch of the new row and continue on yet another row of single crochet, again until I complete a total of 4 rows of single crochet. And of course this is your top, so if you want the gap to be a little bit bigger, then you can go ahead and do more rows. If you want it to be a little bit thinner, then you could do less rows. Like if you want the rows just to be like this thick, then that's totally fine. Then you could just do 2 rows of single crochet. But if you want it to be as thick as mine, I did 4 rows. So yeah, it's totally up to you. Alrighty, so I just completed my 4th row of single crochet, and now I'm going to add in the green yarn, and I'm going to do so by just putting the green yarn on the hook and then pretty much just crocheting with it as I normally would. I would tighten the old color so that it doesn't unravel on its own, and then I'm just going to start using the green as I would normally. I'm just going to chain 1, and now I'm going to create the stems of the flowers by skipping 2 stitches, going into that 3rd stitch and creating 2 double crochets inside of that 3rd stitch. So 1 double crochet and the 2nd double crochet, and it should look something like this, like a little V. And then from there, I'm going to chain 1, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then go into that 3rd stitch and create 2 double crochets in there. 1 and 2. So I have this little V right here. And then I'm going to chain 1, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, go into that 3rd stitch and create 2 double crochets inside of that 1 stitch. And after I do that, I'm going to chain 1 and so on and so forth. And your project should look something like this. So this is going to serve as little stems for your flowers. It's going to look super cute. So now that I've chained 1, I'm going to skip 2, go into that 3rd stitch, create 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, so on and so forth until I've done this all across the project until I reach the very end. And once I reach the very end, that's when we're going to add the yellow or whatever color you want your flowers to be. So yeah, so I'm just going to chain 1, skip 2 stitches, go into that 3rd stitch, create 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, and continue with this pattern until I reach the end of the row. So now that I'm at the end of the row here, I do have a little bit more space where I could skip 2 and then do another set of double crochets, but there's no need to since it's at the very end. So all I'm going to do is make 1 double crochet on the very last stitch here. And after I do that, then I'm going to go ahead and grab my yellow yarn and continue on making the flowers. So I'm going to attach my new color the way that I've attached the other one. I'm just going to place it on my hook and then just start crocheting with it. And I'm also going to tighten the old color so that it doesn't unravel. And yeah, so after you have attached your new color, then you're going to go into the first opening of the double crochets, and you're going to create 3 double crochets within that opening. So I'm just going to make the first one and then go into that same opening, make the second one, and then go into that same opening and make the 3rd one. And I know it looks crazy at first, you're like, that doesn't look like a flower. But once you add the layer on top of it, it will look way more like a flower. So yeah, just trust me. So from here, I'm just going to chain 1, go into the next opening between 2 double crochets, and then create 3 double crochets within that opening. So 2 and 3. So it looks something like this. I guess they kind of do look like little flowers already, but they'll look even more like flowers when you put that extra layer on top. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will see soon enough. So yeah, I'm just going to chain 1, reach on over to the next opening between 2 double crochets, create 3 double crochets within that opening, and then chain 1, then head on over to the next opening between 2 double crochets, and then create 3 double crochets within that opening. And then after you've done that, you're going to chain 1, reach on over to the next opening between 2 double crochets, and then create 3 double crochets within that opening. And yeah, just continue with that pattern until you reach the end of the row. The project should look something like this, but all across the row. And yeah, once you do that, we're going to reattach the black yarn and then do another 4 rows of single crochet with the black yarn, and then we're going to do this all over again, and it's going to be great. So I'm just going to continue with this pattern until I reach the very end of the row, and then I will check back in with you once I'm there. So now that I've reached the end of the row here, I'm going to once again go into the very last stitch of the row and then create just 1 double crochet to complete the row. So this is what the project looks like so far. It's just a very long project that has 1 row of adorable flowers. So now I'm going to reattach my black yarn to the hook, and then continue on with another row of single crochet, or rather another 4 rows of single crochet. So from here I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to go into this stitch right here and single crochet. I don't know why I yarned over. Single crochet, and then I'm going to go into the flower and single crochet within the flower, And now I've reached the point where I am in the gap in between the flowers, so I'm going to make 2 single crochets within that gap, and then I'm going to go and crochet on top of the flower. Now again, I have reached the gap in between the 2 flowers, and I'm going to make 2 single crochets. Now I have reached the flower again, and I'm going to crochet on top of the flower. Now I have reached the gap in between the 2 flowers, so I'm going to make 2 single crochets, and so on and so forth. And now you can see that these definitely look more like flowers. They look like little tulips with these little points because you went in between them with the black yarn or whatever yarn that you used. Again, I think that these colors would actually really look good with white as well. But that might be my next crochet top. I really think that it will look really cute, and if you decide to use white, then I'm pretty sure it's going to look adorable with yellow flowers. But yeah, pretty much I'm just going to complete this row, and then I'm going to do another 3 rows of single crochet with the black yarn, and then redo the flower pattern, and then just continue with that over and over again until I'm happy with the size and length of the tube top. So yeah, I will check in with you guys once I am done with all 4 rows of single crochet with the black yarn. Okay, so I've done another 4 rows of single crochet with the black yarn, so now I'm going to reattach the green yarn and start a new row of stems so I could do another floral design. So again, I'm just going to attach the green yarn and then tighten the black yarn so it doesn't unravel. And then I'm going to skip 2 stitches, go into the 3rd stitch of the new row, and make 2 double crochets inside of that 1 stitch. So 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets. And after I made my 2nd double crochet, I'm going to chain 1, skip 2 stitches, and then head over to the 3rd stitch and make another set of double crochets. So 2 double crochets inside of that 1 stitch. Then I'm going to chain 1, skip 2 stitches, then go into that 3rd stitch, make another set of double crochets, and so on and so forth until I reach the end of the row. And after I've reached the end of the row, then I'm going to attach the yellow yarn and make the yellow flowers. So yeah, this is what it should look like, and I'm going to do that for the rest of the row, and I'll check back in with you once I reach the end. Alrighty, so I've completed the row with the green yarn, so the stems, and now I'm going to attach the yellow yarn. And once I've attached the yellow yarn, I'm going to start my new row. And again, to make the flowers, you're going to go in between the 2 double crochets that you created in the previous row and create 3 double crochets inside of that opening. So it's 2 double crochets and 3 double crochets, and it makes this little clump. And then you're going to chain 1, reach on over to the next opening in between the 2 double crochets and create 3 double crochets within that opening. And after you've created your 3rd double crochet in that opening, you're going to chain 1, reach on over to the next opening and create another set of 3 double crochets. And you're just going to do that for the rest of the row. And this is what the little flowers should look like. Again, you're going to do that all the way to the end of the row here. And after that, you're going to reattach the black yarn and crochet a couple rows using the black yarn. Again, mine's just 4 rows of the black yarn. And of course, you can do more or less rows depending on how big you want your gap to be. And also whatever color that you want. It doesn't have to be black. It could be a totally different color if you want. So I've reached the end of the row here, and I'm just going to complete it by going into the very last stitch of the row and making 1 last double crochet. And then I'm going to reattach the black yarn and start on another 4 rows of single crochet. And after I've completed my 4 rows of single crochet, I'm just going to keep repeating the pattern over and over again until I'm happy with how long the top is. If you want it to be a crop top, then you don't have to make as many rows. If you want it to be a full top, then you'll need to make more rows. So the length of the top totally depends on your preference and how much you want to continue working on it. So if you don't have enough yarn, then you're gonna have a short top. If you have a bunch of yarn and want to make a full top, then just keep on making rows and rows and following this pattern until you put the project against yourself and you're happy with the coverage. So that's what I have so far. And I'm probably going to make one more set of the pattern or one more set of flowers, and then I'll be happy with the coverage because I am a petite person, so I don't need that many rows for good coverage. But if you are taller than I am, then you may need more rows. So again, totally depends on you, your preference, your body type. And that's okay. It could look a little bit different than mine, but still look incredible. So yeah, just continue with this pattern until you're happy with the length of it, and then I'll show you how to make the straps and we could be done. Woo! So I just finished up crocheting the last row, and this is what the project looks like. I think it's really, really cute. And I'm happy with the length of it and the coverage, so I'm just going to end there. I have already detached the yarn from the yarn ball, and now I'm going to bring in the excess yarn through the last loop and give it a tug to seal the project, and then I'm going to cut off the excess yarn later. But for now, it's time to make the straps, and to make the straps you're going to determine which side is going to be your back and which side is going to be your front. So this side is going to be my front. So I'm going to face it this way, fold it over, and then attach the black yarn to the bottom of the top. And from here, I'm going to then chain a very long chain of 150 chains, and that's going to serve as the strap. So after I have chained 150 chains from here, I'm going to go back on it with a slip stitch just to make the strap a little bit thicker. That's just what I like to do, but you don't have to. It could just be a chain if you want. So after you've completed crocheting both of your straps, you're going to grab one of them, bring it over to the opposite side, and attach it to around the bottom middle portion of the top. And you're going to bring it in with your hook, and then just bring the rest in with your hand. And after that, you're going to reach it on over to the opposite side again, but this time attach it to the upper portion of the middle portion of the top. And again, you're just going to bring it in with your hook and then with your hand. And after that, you're going to reach it over to the opposite side once more, and you're going to attach it to the top portion of the top. And once you've done that, then you have this crisscross design, and all you have to do is do the exact same thing, just with the opposite strap. So again, you're going to bring that strap over, then attach it to the bottom middle portion of the top. And after you've attached it there, you're going to reach it on over to the opposite side once again, but attach it to the top portion of the middle portion of the top. And after that, you're going to reach it over one last time and attach it to the top portion of the top. And after you've done that, then you're done with your strap, and all you have to do is tighten the back. And after that, you are completely done crocheting this tube top. I think it came out really, really cute. The only thing that I would probably change is the next time I make this, I'm probably going to make the solid color gaps in between the flowers a little bit bigger, because I think that the flowers are a little too close. It looks totally cute when it's just sitting there, but once I actually put it on, I think that it would look cuter if the gaps were a little wider. But overall, I'm happy with the design, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up before you go. And also check out the rest of my channel. I have a ton of crochet videos for you, and of course the various links in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click that red subscribe button if you have not already, so I can see you next time. Bye!